You're sitting there right now thinking about all the things you need to do. That big project at work, the dishes piling up in the sink, that phone call you've been putting off for days. You know you should be doing them, but something's holding you back. That something is procrastination. And it's time we talk about it. Procrastination isn't just about being lazy. It's not about not wanting to work. It's about fear. Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of the unknown. But here's the thing, that fear is lying to you. It's telling you that if you don't start, you can't fail. But not starting is the biggest failure of all. Think about it. Every time you put something off, you're not just delaying the task. You're delaying your life. You're putting your dreams, your goals, your potential on hold. And for what? For a few more minutes of comfort. For the illusion of safety? Let me tell you something. There's no safety in procrastination. There's only regret. Regret for the things you could have done, the person you could have become, the life you could have lived. But it doesn't have to be this way. You have the power to change. Right here, right now. You have the power to take control of your life, to stop letting procrastination run the show. How do you do it? It starts with one simple step. Just one. Pick the smallest task on your to-do list, the one that's been nagging at you for days, maybe even weeks, and do it right now. Don't think about it. Don't plan it. Just do it. Feel that rush of accomplishment. That's what awaits you on the other side of procrastination. That's the feeling of taking control of your life. But it doesn't stop there. Once you've taken that first step, keep going. Build momentum. Turn that one small task into 2, then 3, then 10. Before you know it, you'll be unstoppable. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's not that easy. You don't understand my situation, and you're right, I don't. But I do understand this. Every single person who's ever achieved anything great has faced the same enemy you're facing right now. Procrastination doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor, young or old. It comes for us all. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or luck. It's the ability to push through that wall of procrastination, to do the things that need to be done, even when they don't feel like doing them. You see, success isn't about feeling motivated all the time. It's about doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. It's about building habits, creating systems that make it easier to do the right thing. So how do you build these habits? How do you create these systems? It starts with understanding why you procrastinate in the first place. Maybe you're a perfectionist. You're so afraid of not doing something perfectly that you'd rather not do it at all. But here's the truth. Perfection is the enemy of progress. The most successful people in the world aren't perfect. They're just willing to be bad at something long enough to get good at it. Or maybe you're overwhelmed. You've got so much on your plate that you don't know where to start. So you don't start at all. But here's the thing. You don't have to do it all at once. Break it down. Take it one step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your goals won't be achieved overnight, but they will be achieved one small step at a time. Or perhaps you're just plain scared. Scared of failure, scared of success, scared of change. But let me ask you this. What's scarier? Taking a risk and maybe failing, or living your whole life wondering what if? Whatever your reason for procrastinating, know this, it's not who you are. It's just a habit you've developed. And like any habit, it can be broken. So how do you break it? You start by changing your environment, clear your workspace, turn off your notifications, create a space that's conducive to work, not to. Next, you change your mindset. Stop thinking of tasks as burdens and start thinking of them as opportunities. Every task you complete is a chance to prove to yourself that you're capable, that you're in control. Then you change your approach. Don't try to tackle everything at once. Start small. Use the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it right away. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish in just 2 minutes. And finally, you change your expectations. Don't expect to be perfect. Don't expect to be motivated all the time. Expect to struggle. Expect to have days where you don't want to do anything, but also expect to push through those days. Expect to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. Now, I know this isn't easy. Breaking the habit of procrastination is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But it's also one of the most rewarding. Think about it. What could you achieve if you stopped procrastinating? What goals could you reach? What dreams could you realize? Maybe you'd finally start that business you've been dreaming about. Maybe you'd write that book that's been bouncing around in your head. Maybe you'd get in shape, learn a new skill, repair that relationship you've been neglecting. The possibilities are endless. But they all start with one thing: action. So here's what I want you to do right now. As soon as you finish reading this, I want you to take action. Pick one thing you've been putting off, just one, and do it. Don't think about it. Don't plan it. Just do it. Doesn't matter how small it is. Maybe it's making your bed. Maybe it's sending that email you've been avoiding. Maybe it's going for a 5-minute walk. Whatever it is, do it. And then when you're done, I want you to celebrate. Really celebrate. Do a little dance. Give yourself a pat on the back. Treat yourself to something you enjoy, because you've just taken the first step towards breaking the chains of procrastination. But don't stop there. Tomorrow, I want you to do it again. And the day after that. And the day after that. Build a streak. Make it a game. See how many days in a row you can take action without procrastinating. And when you slip up, because you will slip up, we all do, don't beat yourself up. Don't use it as an excuse to give up. Just get back on track. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Now let's talk about some practical strategies you can use to beat procrastination. First up, the Pomodoro Technique. This is a time management method where you work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. It's based on the idea that frequent breaks can improve mental agility. Plus, 25 minutes feels a lot more manageable than an endless stretch of work. Next, try the Eat the Frog method. This comes from a quote often attributed to Mark Twain. If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. In other words, tackle your biggest, most important task first. Once it's done, the rest of your day will feel much easier. Another effective strategy is the 5-second rule. When you have an impulse to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill the idea. So count backwards from 5 and then move. It's a simple way to push past mental barriers. You can also try temptation bundling. This involves pairing something you need to do with something you want to do. For example, only watching your favorite TV show while you're at the gym, or only listening to your favorite podcast while you're cleaning the house. And don't forget about the power of accountability. Tell someone about your goals. Better yet, find an accountability partner, someone who will check in on your progress and call you out when you're slacking. Remember, these are just tools. They won't work if you don't use them. And they won't work immediately. It takes time to build new habits to rewire your brain. But if you stick with it, if you keep pushing, you will see results. Now let's address some common excuses people use to justify their procrastination. I work better under pressure. This is a myth. You might feel more focused when a deadline is looming, but that doesn't mean you're producing your best work. In fact, studies have shown that chronic procrastinators receive lower grades and have higher levels of stress and illness. I'm just not motivated right now. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. If you wait for motivation to strike, you'll never get anything done. Action comes first, motivation follows. I don't have time. This is often just a polite way of saying it's not a priority. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's how we choose to use them that matters. I'm afraid of failing. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful person has failed countless times. The difference is they didn't let those failures stop them. I don't know where to start. Start anywhere. It doesn't matter where you start as long as you start. You can always adjust course as you go. These excuses might feel real in the moment, but they're just that. Excuses. They're the lies procrastination tells you to keep you stuck. So how do you push past these excuses? How do you keep going when everything in you wants to quit? You remind yourself of your why. Why are you doing this? Why is it important? Connect with your deeper purpose, your bigger goals. When you're clear on your why, the how becomes easier. You focus on the process, not the outcome. Don't think about writing a book. Think about writing a page. Don't think about losing 50 pounds. Think about eating one healthy meal. Break it down into small, manageable steps. You practice self-compassion. Beating yourself up for procrastinating only leads to more procrastination. Treat yourself with kindness. Acknowledge that you're struggling, but don't let it define you. You visualize success. Spend a few minutes each day imagining how good it will feel to complete your task to achieve your goal. Make it vivid. Engage all your senses. Let that feeling motivate you. You create a routine. Our brains love routine. It reduces decision fatigue and makes it easier to get started. Set specific times for specific tasks. Stick to it even when you don't feel like it. You eliminate distractions. Turn off notifications. Use website blockers. Put your phone in another room. Create an environment that supports focus, not distraction. You use positive self-talk. The way you talk to yourself matters. Instead of, I have to do this, try, I get to do this. Instead of, this is too hard, try, this is challenging, but I can handle it. You reward yourself. Set up a system of rewards for completing tasks. It could be something small, like a 5-minute break, or something bigger for larger accomplishments. Just make sure the reward doesn't undo the progress you've made. Remember, overcoming procrastination is not about being busy all the time. It's about being productive. It's about doing the things that matter, the things that move you closer to your goals. It's about understanding that discomfort is temporary, but regret is permanent. The discomfort of doing the work now is nothing compared to the regret of looking back on a life half-lived. So I challenge you. I challenge you to stop waiting for the perfect moment because it will never come. I challenge you to stop making excuses because they're holding you back. I challenge you to start really living right now. Because here's the truth. You are capable of so much more than you realize. You have potential within you that you haven't even begun to tap into, but that potential will remain just that, potential, unless you take action. Think about where you want to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Now ask yourself, what do you need to do today to make that future a reality? Whatever it is, do it now. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for someone to come and save you. Be your own hero. Take control of your life. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's about taking control. It's about deciding that you're not going to let procrastination run your life anymore. It's about choosing to be the person you know you can be. You see, procrastination is a thief. It steals your time, your potential, your dreams, but you have the power to stop it. You have the power to take back what's yours. So stand up. Right now, stand up and declare that from this moment on, you are in control. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. You are not going to let another day go by without taking action towards your goals. Make a commitment to yourself. Write it down. Say it out loud. I commit to taking action every day. I commit to doing what needs to be done, even when I don't feel like it. I commit to becoming the best version of myself. And then follow through. Not just today, not just tomorrow, but every day. Because that's what it takes. It takes consistency. It takes persistence. But you have that grit. You have that strength within you. You just need to tap into it. You need to believe in yourself, even when no one else does, especially when no one else does. Because here's the secret. The world steps aside for the person who knows where they're going. When you stop procrastinating, when you start taking consistent action towards your goals, the universe conspires to help you. Opportunities will open up. Doors will unlock. People will come into your life who will help you on your journey. But it all starts with you. It all starts with that decision to stop procrastinating and start living. So what are you waiting for? The time is now. Your life is waiting. Your dreams are waiting. Don't keep them waiting any longer. Take that first step. Make that phone call. Write that first page. Go for that run. Whatever it is you've been putting off, do it now. Because here's the truth. There will never be a perfect time. There will always be obstacles, always be reasons to put it off. But those obstacles, those reasons, They're just tests. They're tests to see how badly you want it, how committed you are to your goals. And I believe in you. I believe you have what it takes to pass those tests, to overcome those obstacles, to achieve things you never thought possible. But it all starts with action. It all starts with deciding that from this moment on, procrastination no longer has a place in your life. So make that decision right here, right now. Decide that you're going to be a person of action, a person who does what needs to be done when it needs to be done, because that's who you are. That's who you've always been. You just forgot for a while. But now you remember. Now you're ready to become the person you were always meant to be. So go. Go and do. Go and achieve. Go and become. The world is waiting for you. Future is waiting for you. Don't keep it waiting any longer. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step. Take that step today. Take it now. Your future self will thank you for it. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step. Take that step today. Take it now. Your future self will thank you for it. And when you take that step, when you push past the resistance, when you do the thing you've been putting off, that's when the magic happens. That's when you start to build momentum. Momentum is a powerful force. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, gathering more snow, getting bigger and faster as it goes. Each action you take, no matter how small, builds on the last. Before you know it, you're not just taking steps, you're sprinting towards your goals. But here's the thing about momentum. It works both ways. Just as positive actions build positive momentum, inaction builds negative momentum. Every time you put something off, you make it a little bit harder to get started the next time. You're training your brain to procrastinate. So which type of momentum are you going to build? The choice is yours, and it's a choice you make every single day with every task you face. Choose action. Choose progress. Choose to be the person who gets things done. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if I put in all this effort and it doesn't work out? Let me tell you something about failure. It's not your enemy. Failure is your teacher. It's your guide. It's the signpost pointing you in the right direction. Every successful person you admire has failed, probably more times than you can imagine, but they didn't let those failures stop them. They learned from them, they adjusted, they kept moving forward. So don't be afraid of failure. Be afraid of not trying. Be afraid of staying stuck where you are, never knowing what you could have achieved if you'd just taken that first step. Because here's the truth. The only real failure is giving up. Everything else is just learning. So embrace the possibility of failure. See it as a necessary part of your journey. Each failure brings you one step closer to success. Each setback teaches you something valuable that you'll use on your path to greatness. And remember, procrastination itself is a form of failure. It's failing to take action. It's failing to live up to your potential. It's failing to be the person you know you can be. So which would you rather? The temporary discomfort of taking action and maybe failing, or the permanent regret of never having tried? I think you know the answer. Now let's talk about fear, because at its core, that's what procrastination often is. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of change, fear of the unknown. But here's the thing about fear. It's just a feeling. It's not real. It's not tangible. It can't actually hurt you. What can hurt you is letting that fear control your actions, or rather your inaction. So the next time you feel that fear creeping in, that urge to put something off, I want you to do something. I want you to feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the fear of starting that project and start it anyway. Feel the fear of making that phone call and make it anyway. Feel the fear of chasing that dream and chase it anyway. Because on the other side of that fear is everything you've ever wanted. On the other side of that fear is growth, is achievement, is the life you've always dreamed of living. And here's a secret. Action is the antidote to fear. The more you act, the less power fear has over you. The more you do the things that scare you, the less scary they become. So use that fear. Let it fuel you. Let it drive you. Take action. Now, I want to address something important. Procrastination isn't just about losing time or not achieving your goals. It's about the toll it takes on your self-esteem, your confidence, your belief in yourself. Every time you put something off, you're sending yourself a message. You're telling yourself that you can't handle it, that you're not capable, that you're not good enough. And over time, those messages add up. They chip away at your self-confidence. They make you doubt yourself. They hold you back from reaching your full potential. But here's the good news. Just as negative actions can damage your self-esteem, positive actions can build it up. Every time you follow through on a commitment, every time you complete a task you've been putting off, you're sending yourself a new message. You're telling yourself that you are capable, that you can handle challenges, that you are worthy of success, and those messages add up too. They build your confidence. They strengthen your belief in yourself. They empower you to take on bigger challenges to reach for higher goals. So which messages are you going to send yourself? Which beliefs are you going to reinforce? The choice is yours. And it's a choice you make every single day with every task you face. Choose action, choose growth, choose to believe in yourself. Now let's talk about time, because that's really what procrastination is all about, how we choose to use our time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. What sets successful people apart isn't that they have more time. It's that they use their time more effectively. They understand that time is the most precious resource we have. It's the one thing we can never get back, never make. So they treat their time with respect. They guard it fiercely. They invest it wisely. And that's what I'm asking you to do. To treat your time like the valuable resource it is. To stop wasting it on procrastination and start investing it in your future. Because every minute you spend procrastinating is a minute you're not spending on your goals, your dreams, your growth. Every hour you waste is an hour you'll never get back. Every day you put things off is a day you're not living to your full potential. So I challenge you to change your relationship with time, to see it not as something to be filled or killed, but as something to be invested. Invest your time in learning new skills. Invest your time in building meaningful relationships. Invest your time in taking care of your health. Invest your time in pursuing your passions, because at the end of the day, how you spend your time is how you spend your life. So spend it wisely. Spend it purposefully. Spend it on the things that matter. Now, I want to address something that often goes hand in hand with procrastination, perfectionism. Many people put things off because they're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect version of themselves. But here's the truth. Perfect is the enemy of done. If you wait for everything to be perfect before you start, you'll never start. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you'll be waiting forever. The most successful people in the world aren't perfectionists, they're iterators. They start before they're ready. They launch before it's perfect. And then they improve as they go. They understand that done is better than perfect. That taking imperfect action is infinitely better than taking no action at all. So stop waiting for it. Perfect. Stop waiting until you have it all figured out. Start now with what you have, where you are. Because here's the secret. The perfect moment is now. The perfect conditions are the ones you have. The perfect version of you is the one reading this right now. You're enough. You have enough? You know enough to get started? So start. Take that imperfect action. Make that messy first draft. Take that wobbly first step. Because once you start, you can improve. Once you're in motion, you can course correct. But you can't steer a parked car. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every success story started with a single imperfect step. Your imperfect action today is the foundation for your success tomorrow. So embrace imperfection. Embrace the learning process. Embrace the journey, because that's where the growth happens.